Hi, and welcome back to the final DigiEduHack coaching call. Today we are going to cover the solution submission and evaluation at the very end of your hackathon event. We're going to go through the jury's work, the solution submission, how do you evaluate, how do you score, what's the criteria, and of course the process for the jury deliberation. Finally, once you've identified your top winner, we will go through how you submit the winner solution and what happens next. Before the evaluation actually starts, but still at the end of your hackathon event, the jury will, of course, watch the presentations that they are evaluating. Even though you've onboarded your jury members, you can make sure that you go through the final key elements still once before the pitching starts, and then you go into your pitching and Q&A session. Here again, each team gets 5 minutes, or if you have a very large group of teams, you can go down to 3 minutes. However, that works best for your agenda. And these minutes should include any demos or any visualizations or anything that the teams want to showcase. After the pitch, there should be a few minutes of Q&A with the judges and the teams, and do have someone to keep track of this time, just so that it's fair for everyone. After each presentation and Q&A, the judges will get a moment to record their scores, notes, comments, so that they have something written down for the team before they move on to the next one, so that they don't forget their thoughts. If you have a deliberation in your agenda, this should happen after all of the pitches have been seen. The jury has some scores and comments on all of the teams, and then they discuss the results as well to agree on a common winner or winners. These are recommendations on how the Q&A can look like. But of course, if you've done this before and you have a system that works, then you follow that as well. Even though you have, of course, you give the freedom to the jury to ask the kind of questions that they're interested in hearing based on the presentations. Do advise the jury to keep the questions to the point and jump straight into the actual question. Keep them short and sweet, just because the Q&A time, be it 3 or 5 minutes, it goes by really fast. The question should also be based on the evaluation criteria. So do have some questions that actually support the work that the teams have been working on and the instructions that they have received. And then you have some example questions there as well, just to give to the judges if they feel worried that they wouldn't come up with questions on the spot. Usually they do know exactly what they want to ask, but still, never hurts to have a few backup questions. When it comes to the submission of the solutions from a team perspective, here we will go through what they actually should deliver. What are the deliverables? First and foremost, each team should create slides, or could create slides, again, up to you how you want to build that format and what you feel is important. But something that could work for a good base for the team's pitch is, of course, a slide deck. If you do completely online or blended and want to have the option of a recorded pitch, like we discussed earlier in another call, you can also ask for the team to deliver that recording in advance. So then, be it a physical pitch with slides just on the big screen, or be it a recorded pitch video, these could work as deliverables. If you have any specific requirements that they should add, any file uploads or any other things, demos, other extras, do instruct the teams on this as well and keep them as a deliverable as well. But as said, to have a smooth pitching and Q&A session, we recommend that any demos are already included in the slides, either as an embedded video file or video slide in the slide deck, or then of course as part of the recorded pitch video, so that it's all in the 5 minutes or 3 minutes already. Do set a reasonable deadline for when the material should be submitted. Maybe 1 to 2 hours before you start pitching so that you can check that you have the materials from all of the teams. All of the files are viewable. There's no technical issue with either a video in a slide or a video as a recorded pitch video or whatever the case is. Do instruct your teams early on how they should submit. There is a participants tab in your personal area on the DigiEduHack website where you get a link that the teams should then fill in. Only one member of the team needs to fill in the form, and we ask only one team member to submit, just so that we don't get duplicates, but that is how you should go about it. Once the teams have submitted their solutions, you should again go to your personal space to the Solutions tab this time, because now they exist, and then approve the solutions. Approving means that you're sure that it's from your event, it's the correct one, it's unique. It just means that it's what it should be, and you approve that it be displayed on the DigiEduHack website publicly. And here you have a better sense here as well. It looks a bit glitchy, but you'll find the slide of this video as well, so that it should look a bit better. But in your personal area, you go under Solutions, click Go Live, and that's how we go about it. Very easy. When it comes to the evaluation and scoring, you have a grid at your usage that should be used in all of the events, just because then when the winners for the local awards are being identified, it's going to follow the same criteria. So it's good that all of the local events have the same criteria, even though you are scoring locally in the first phase, so to say. We will go through the different criteria. There are a few of them. First of all, we look at the quality, both of the solution itself. So is there a good value proposition? Does it actually respond to the needs and trends of digital education? Does it use different technologies and approaches, and so on? So the quality of the solution itself. We also look at the quality of the team. So does the team actually have the experience and the expertise, competence, and the capacity to successfully implement the idea further with more time or more budget or whatever the case is? Do they have complementary skills? Do they show the motivation and commitment in their pitch? We also look at the relevance, both to the spirit of DigiEduHack 2025. Does it actually match with the annual theme and the category and the challenges identified? Does it bring in the variety of target groups, and does it have that impact on future digital education? We also look at relevance at a wider societal spectrum, meaning does it have a positive impact on social and environmental levels as well? Is it inclusive, diverse, more than only for the DigiEduHack annual theme? The next criterion is originality. Here we look at, of course, is it an original idea? Are the elements of innovativeness there? Is it somehow better, more unique than something that already exists? We also look at the feasibility. Would it actually be realistic to implement? Is there a plan of the different milestones, resources required? Is the team aware of what it would take to bring to reality? Moving on, we also look at the sustainability, just to see that once implemented as a prototype, this would successfully have potential to be upscaled, become sustainable in also the mid and the long term. We look at the transferability as well to see how it could be used in other relevant education and learning contexts or disciplines. So how transferable is it from the idea it is now in the area of theme now to different fields as well. And there we have the criteria. So quite a few, but definitely very important, all of them. When you go into your jury deliberation, so now we have seen the teams have submitted their pitches on the link provided in your personal space. You have approved them to go live. The teams have pitched and the jury has done their Q&A and written down their scores in the evaluation grid using the criteria that we just covered. And now we go into the jury deliberation. A way to go about it is that the host or the moderator, or someone from your team, collects the scores from all of the judges and kind of counts them together just to get the total score and the average score. After this, you gather with the jury in a private area. It can be a room if you're physically on site together. It can be an online breakout room or other meeting link for some deliberation. This is basically just to see that the jury is aligned. Maybe they have very different scores on the teams, but then when they discuss their own reasonings and backgrounds and expertise, then they can kind of come to a consensus better as well. To save time here, because you might have a lot of teams, we recommend that you start the discussion based on the top teams. Let's say top 5 or 7 teams if you want to identify a top 3, just because you will lose time if you talk about all of the teams, even though some of them are clearly in the bottom and you wouldn't award them anyway. So it's better to save time and discuss the top teams if you have a strict timeline. Of course, by the end of this, you hope that you can decide upon the winning team or teams. As I've mentioned earlier, you can have more than one local winner. You can have a top 3 or top 5 or whatever you choose, but you do need to submit one grand winning team to the global competition. So it means that even though you locally award several, you do also need to identify the best team that will be sent as your finalist. The jury will also settle on what prizes to award as applicable, depending, of course, on what prizes you have. And then you can decide if a judge wants to present the winning teams at the award ceremony or if that be someone else. Of course, it is more prestigious and usually very appreciated by the participants that a jury member does present the awards and the winning team to hear the motivation behind it and so on. And this is just a very small detail, but I'll just say it anyway, that if a jury is presenting a winning team, it kind of is a bit more dramatic and you keep the kind of excitement going if you first start with the motivation of why a team was identified as the winner. So first the motivation, the following team was great because of reasons A, B, and C, and we were really impressed with X, Y, Z, whatever the case is. Then you go into drum roll, the winning team is team number 2 or whatever the case is. So start with the motivation and then reveal the team name or team number. Small thing, but it does make a difference. Here, when it comes to your agenda, if you do a deliberation, it might be good to book around an hour just so that you have time to chat with the jury members, and as organizers, you get the answers. You can update your winner slides or checks or certificates or whatever it is that you need for that award ceremony. Finally, after the winner has been chosen and awarded and identified and announced, you have to select which of the 2 solution categories it would fit best. There's also an experience level designated for beginner or experienced hackers based on some criteria that I'll show you in the coming slide. And also the winning team's information needs to be added to your host personal area on the website prior to the main stage event. When it comes to the experience level category, this is just because sometimes we get, let's say, schools with participating teams of pupils in the 3rd or 4th grade, and then we can have doctoral students or even professionals in another hackathon as teams. So to keep it fair for everyone, we have a beginner and we have a experienced level. This is why we give you a kind of a grid with questions on the experience, skill level, and maturity of the solution that you can pick yes or no, and the majority of answers defines if you have a beginner or an experienced team. And same for the solution category. So just so that you don't need to decide or guess on your own, you have some questions here. And again, where you have the more number of yeses, that is the category that you will be competing in with your grant winner. Finally, the process of submitting the winner solution. You first have to approve and publish the solution from your host personal space, like we covered already. And then in that same kind of row where you click go live the first time, you can select that one of the teams have been identified as the winner. So is global winner, check. After this, you choose the global award category for the local winner and send the winner a link as well. They have around 10 days or so to do this, but they do need to submit their winner materials again. It means that they can update the materials if they want to. Maybe it's part of your prize process that they get some mentoring to improve their pitch or their slides or whatever the case is, but they do need to submit once more. And then, of course, attending the main stage event. The final things or steps that will happen is that the DigiEduHacks steering group on a higher level will determine which winners will become the finalists in the global DigiEduHack competition. They will be revealed in January next. It will be 2026, of course, next year, and not 25. But still, the finalists will be revealed in January, and we will have a total of 12 finalists out of all of the local winners. The finalists that have been identified will then undergo a public voting so that people can select their favorite solutions in each of the categories. And the elected winning teams will be eligible for the global level prizes if they succeed in the competition. And the winners will then be revealed finally in March 2026 again. And after this is done, we are done with this year's DigiEduHacks, and you can all give yourselves a huge round of applause for making it through as a host in this edition. If there's anything that you're wondering, as you know, you can reach out to us using the email here on the screen or in Discord. And from August onward, we will be doing weekly status calls on Discord as well. So even though the coaching calls are now done, we will still be online on Friday, same time in Discord to answer any questions that you might have. So you can pop in for a spontaneous chat. Thank you so much for following the coaching call series, and I wish you all the best with your hackathon events.